Hi, third grade. Today we're going to finish the book we started last week, which is Miss Mary is Scary. We are on chapter 6. Vampires are cute. Mr. Granite didn't have the chance to teach his math lesson because it was time for lunch. We walked single file to the vomitorium. Neil, the nude kid, was the line leader. I sat with the guys and we were talking about Halloween. We were all going as superheroes. I would be Batman, Ryan would be Spider-Man, Michael would be Spider-Man, Neil would be the Invisible Man. Who do you think would win a fight? Michael asked. Spider-Man or Batman? Spider-Man would, said Ryan. He could burn Batman up with his heat vision in a second. No way, I told him. Batman would pull out a mirror and the heat vision would bounce back and burn Spider-Man alive. Superman is invulnerable to heat, Ryan told me. Not if it comes from his own eyes, I insisted. It would kill him. Would not. Would too. We went back and forth like that for a while. Andrea and her girly friends were at the next table, listening to our important discussion. Boys are dumbheads, said Andrea. Oh yeah, I said. What are you dressing up for Halloween? Beach blanket Barbie? No, Andrea replied. I'm going as Steven Spielberg. What? Who's Steven Spielberg? Asked Neil, the nude kid. He's a famous movie director, Andrea told us. I take a movie making class after school. My parents even let me use their video camera so I can make my own movies. We're going to put them on YouTube. You should make a movie about Miss Mary, said Michael. It could be a horror movie. Yeah, Neil said, she looks like a vampire. Maybe she really is a vampire, I whispered to everyone. Did you ever think of that? She dresses all in black. She wears black makeup. She's got a pet bat. She even eats blood pudding. Wow, said Ryan. I think you might be right, AJ. Stop trying to scare Emily, Andrea told me. I'm scared, said Emily, looking all worried. Miss Mary probably lives in a cage and sleeps hanging upside down from the ceiling. And then she goes out at night and bites people in the neck and drinks their blood. We've got to do something, Emily yelled, and she went running out of the room. Jeez, get a grip. That girl is such a crybaby. I like vampires, Andrea said. I saw this movie about a vampire. He was really handsome and all the girls fell in love with him. He looked a little like Zach. Why would girls fall in love with a guy who bites them in the neck and drinks their blood? I asked. Because he's cute, Andrea said. Like Zach. You think Zach is cute? Arlo, I think you're jealous, said Andrea, all smiley. My face started to feel warm. I'm not jealous, I told her. If you ask me, Zach looks more like a zombie than a vampire anyways. Ooh, Ryan said. AJ is jealous because Andrea thinks Zeke is cute. He must be in love with her. When are you going to get married? Asked Michael. If those guys weren't my best friends, I would hate them. The next day, first thing in the morning, we had show and tell. I brought in some of my Matchbox cars. Ryan brought in a model plane he built from a kit. Andrea brought in her parents' video camera that she uses to shoot movies. Okay, Mr. Granite said, after show and tell was over. Now we can finally get to our math lesson. Turn to page 23. But we didn't get to our math lesson because at that moment, guess who climbed through the window? Zach, shouted Mary. Mary, shouted Zach. Not again, shouted Mr. Granite. Don't you ever use the door? I love you. I love you too. Zach and Miss Mary started smooching like always. Ugh, disgusting. They're so romantic, said Andrea. Hey, I finished writing my song, Zach told Miss Mary. Do you want to hear it? Perhaps you can sing the song after school is over, suggested Mr. Granite. We really need to work on our math. I want to hear Zach's new song now, whined Miss Mary. So do we, all the kids shouted. If you don't let Zach sing his song, Miss Mary told Mr. Granite, I'm going to tell Daddy you're a bad teacher. Sing the song, Mr. Granite said, closing his eyes and rubbing his forehead. Yay, everybody cheered. Can I film you with my video camera? Andrea asked Zach. Sure, he replied, and then he started rapping. I love dirt, I love dirt, I love dirt, I love dirt. Zach motioned for us to chant with him. I love dirt, I love dirt, I love dirt, I love dirt. Then he started rapping. Now, some love Ernie, some love Bert, and some love Big Bird, but I love dirt. We all chanted, I love dirt, I love dirt, I love dirt, I love dirt. Then Zach started rapping again. Now, some love dinner, some love dessert, and some love breakfast, but I love dirt. We all chanted, I love dirt, I love dirt, I love dirt, I love dirt. Then Zach started rapping again. Now, listen to me, 'cause I'm an expert. Don't freak out if you get it on your shirt. I rub it on my face. I love getting dirty, and I'll keep doing it until I turn 30. We all chanted, I love dirt, I love dirt, I love dirt, I love dirt. Then Zach started rapping again. So when I'm dead and did my last concert, throw me in a hole and cover it with dirt. We all chanted, I love dirt, I love dirt, I love dirt, I love dirt. Then Zach started rapping again. It doesn't hurt, I love dirt. I'm here to assert, I love dirt. I gotta blurt, I love dirt. Don't mean to be curt, I love dirt. I'm issuing on all points alert. I love dirt. Zach took a bow. We all cheered and clapped. That song is awesome, Miss Mary told Zach. I wrote it just for you, he replied. I think I'm going to cry, said Miss Mary. That's so romantic, Andrea said. Would it be okay if I put this video up on YouTube? Sure, said Zach. That would be cool. Okay, can we get back to math now? Asked Mr. Granite. He told us to open our math books to page 23, but at that moment there were footsteps in the hall. It's Mr. Kurt, Neil the nude guy yelled. Hide, Zach, shouted Mary. Zach ran into the cloakroom just before Mr. Klutz walked in the room. Is everybody okay in here? He asked. I thought I heard somebody yelling. Oh, we were singing. Mary had a little lamb, said Mr. Granite. That's odd, said Mr. Klutz. I thought I heard something about dirt. A song about dirt? Asked Mr. Granite. That's ridiculous. Why would anybody sing about dirt? Mr. Klutz was looking at Mr. Granite. Mr. Granite looked at Miss Mary. Miss Mary looked at Andrea. Andrea looked at me. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. I had to think fast. Maybe you're losing your hearing, Mr. Klutz. Hearing is a lot like hair. When men get old, they lose it. Then I mouthed a few nonsense words without making any noise. What did you say, AJ? Asked Mr. Klutz. I mouthed some more nonsense words without making any noise. Maybe I am losing my hearing. I didn't hear a word you said. I better go get my ears checked. And then he left. Everybody said I was a genius for convincing Mr. Klutz that he had hearing problems. Ryan said I should get the Nobel Prize. That's a prize they give out to people who don't have bells. The next day was Friday. Mr. Granite didn't start the morning with word of the day like he usually does. We didn't do show and tell. We didn't even pledge allegiance. Mr. Granite said he wanted to make sure we had time to work on math. Open your math books, he told us, and turn to page 23. I took my math book out of my desk. Bummer in the summer. We were actually going to have to do math, the most boring subject in the history of the world. But that's when Zach climbed in through the window. Yay, no math! Zach, shouted Mary. Mary, shouted Zach. Not again, shouted Mr. Granite as he slammed his math book shut. Zach, what are you doing here now? Why don't you save us all some time and go hide in the cloakroom? I love you, Zach, said Miss Mary. I love you too, said Zach. They started smooching, of course. Ugh, disgusting. Those two are so romantic, said Andrea. I'm sorry to interrupt your class, Mr. Granite, Zach said, but I had to come in. I have big news. Zach has a big nose, I whispered to Ryan. What is it? We all asked. Mr. Granite sat at his desk. He looked tired. You know that video that Andrea shot of me singing I Love Dirt? Zach said. Yes, said Andrea. My mother helped me upload it to Facebook, to YouTube, after school yesterday. Well, it went viral, Zach exclaimed. It went viral. It went viral. It went viral, everybody started shouting. Huh, what the heck does that mean? Going viral doesn't sound good. I had a virus once and it made me throw up. Did you throw up? I asked Zach. Going viral means that thousands of people saw your video, Andrea said excitedly. Actually, Zach said, millions of people saw it. Not only that, but last night I got a call from the producer of Saturday Night Live. He loved I Love Dirt. He wants to fly me and Fish Food to New York so we can perform it on the show tomorrow night. You're kidding me, Miss Mary said, jumping up and down. I'm not kidding, said Zach, jumping up and down with her. You're joking. I'm not joking. They went back and forth like that for a while, but finally Zach convinced Miss Mary that it was true. Fish Food would be flying to New York to perform I Love Dirt on Saturday Night Live. That's wonderful, Zach, Miss Mary yelled. Everyone in the class was freaking out, jumping up and down and going crazy. Well, everyone except Mr. Granite. He didn't look happy at all. There was no way we were going to be doing any math for the rest of the day. Saturday Night Live is a cool TV show. It's on at night on Saturdays, and it's live, so it has the perfect name. Usually, I'm not allowed to stay up that late. My parents said this was a special occasion because Zach was performing with Fish Food. They even let me invite Ryan, Michael, and Neil over to watch. Everybody was excited. In the middle of the show, Fish Food came out, and everybody went crazy. Zach was jumping up and down and running all over the stage while he sang, I Love Dirt. It was really cool. On Monday morning, everyone was talking about it. We all told Miss Mary how awesome it was to see Zach on TV. Okay, settle down, said Mr. Granite. I'm sure we all watched Miss Mary's boyfriend Zach on Saturday Night Live. It was very exciting, but now that it's over, it's time to get back to work. So please, turn to page 23 in your math books. Oh well, it was fun while it lasted. I knew it wouldn't last forever. But you'll never believe, in 1,100,000 years, what happened at that moment. Zach climbed through the window. Oh no, said Mr. Granite, throwing his hands up in the air. I give up. Zach, shouted Mary. Mary, shouted Zach, I missed you. I missed you too. That's when the smooching began. Ugh, disgusting. Those two are so romantic, said Andrea. You were awesome on TV the other night, Ryan told Zach. We all watched. Can I have your autograph? Asked Michael. Sure, Zach said. I'm sorry to interrupt class again, Mr. Granite. What else is new? Said Mr. Granite. A lot, Zach said. After the show was over, a guy came into our dressing room and signed us to a record deal. Next week, we're going to make our first album. We're getting t-shirts and posters too. They're even going to make me into a bobblehead statue. I'm so proud of you, Zach, said Miss Mary. But here's the big news, Zach told Miss Mary. Fish Food is going on a worldwide concert tour, and I want you to come with us, Mary. Wow, we all said, which is Mom upside down. But I promised to be a student teacher for a year, Mary said. It wouldn't be fair to Mr. Granite if I left. It would be fair, Mr. Granite said. Go. Then Zach got down on one knee in front of Mary. Oh no, yelled Andrea. He's getting down on one knee. I think I'm going to cry, yelled Emily. What's the big deal? I said. He must have dropped his contact lens or something. Zach took a little box out of his pocket. I can't believe it, Andrea shrieked. He's got a little box. So what? I said. He probably keeps his contact lenses in there. All the girls were freaking out. What is their problem? Zach opened the little box. Mary, Zach said, will you marry me? Eek! All the girls screamed. He asked her to marry him. That's so romantic, said Andrea. Oh, I guess he didn't keep contact lenses in the box after all. Zach took a ring out of the box. Miss Mary started crying, which is what the girls always do when you ask them to marry you. Nobody knows why. What about Daddy? Asked Miss Mary. He doesn't approve of you. Old man Klutz can't keep us apart, Zach said. If he won't give us his blessing, we can elope. But he would be heartbroken, Miss Mary said. We can't elope. What does Melon have to do with anything? I asked. Quiet, Arlo, said Andrea. Oh, why not? Yes, I'll marry you, Zach. Yes, yes, yes. Of course I'll marry you. Mary put on a ring and smooched with Zach. All the girls were freaking out. Mr. Granite was trying to get the girls to calm down when the weirdest thing in history of the world happened. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Oh, okay, I'll tell you. But you have to read the next chapter first. Right after Miss Mary said she would marry Zach, the most amazing thing happened. Another guy started climbing in the window. Who's that guy? Michael said. Quick, Zach, hide in the bloody cloakroom. It's like Grand Central Station in here, Mr. Granite said as Zach ran into the cloakroom. Doesn't anybody use doors anymore? The guy who climbed in the window was dressed in a jacket and tie. He carried a briefcase. Excuse me, the guy said. Is this elementary school? Yes, Mr. Granite replied. Who are you? And what are you doing in my classroom? Allow me to introduce myself, the man said as he handed Mr. Granite a card. My name is Joe Navark. I'm with the Hoover Vacuum Company. What? I don't need a vacuum. Get out of here. We're supposed to be doing math. I'm not selling vacuum cleaners, the guy said. I'm looking for a young man named Zach. I was told I might find him here. Mr. Granite slapped his own forehead with the palm of his hand. Zach is my boyfriend, said Mary, showing off her ring. We're going to get married. He's in there. Mr. Granite pointed to the cloakroom. The vacuum cleaner guy opened the cloakroom door. Zach was standing there. It's you, the vacuum cleaner guy said to Zach, the lead singer of Fish Food. You were terrific on Saturday Night Live. Thank you, said Zach. Tell me, did you write that song, I Love Dirt? I sure did, Zach replied. Well, I love it, the vacuum cleaner guy told Zach. And I think your song would be perfect to go with the TV commercial for our new line of vacuum cleaners. Are you serious? Zach said. Sure, the vacuum cleaner guy said. Picture this. We have a cartoon vacuum cleaner running around a house while it sings I Love Dirt. It will sell millions of vacuums. And Zach and Miss Mary went, wow, which is Mom upside down. Okay, the vacuum cleaner guy said. Let's talk turkey. What do turkeys have to do with vacuum cleaners? I asked. Turkeys don't talk. Are you going to vacuum up a bunch of dead turkeys? Talking turkey means talking about money, Arlo, Andrea said. Oh, I knew that. How much are you going to pay Zach for his song? Miss Mary said. How about $1 million? How does $1 million sound to you? Said the vacuum cleaner guy. What? $2 million would sound a lot better, said Miss Mary. Okay, the vacuum cleaner guy said, $2 million, but that's as high as I can go. Zach shook hands with the vacuum cleaner guy. Everyone was freaking out, and suddenly there were footsteps in the hallway. It's Mr. Klutz, Neil the new kid yelled. Quick, said Mary. Hide in the cloakroom, both of you. Zach and the vacuum cleaner guy ran into the cloakroom right before Mr. Klutz came in. I just wanted to see how you were doing, how you were making out, Mary, Mr. Klutz said. Ooh, disgusting. Daddy, I have wonderful news, said Miss Mary. Zach and I are getting married. What? You know how I feel about that, Mary. I won't allow you to marry Zach unless he shows that he can earn enough money to support you. He can, Daddy, Mary said excitedly. After Zach was on Saturday Night Live, he signed a record contract. He's going to make an album and go on tour. And a guy from a vacuum cleaner company is going to pay Zach $2 million for I Love Dirt. That's wonderful news, said Mr. Klutz. Where is Zach? I want to congratulate him. He's in the cloakroom, said Miss Mary, with the guy from the vacuum cleaner company. What are they doing in there? Asked Mr. Klutz. It's a long story, Mr. Granite said. Miss Mary opened the door to the cloakroom. Zach and the vacuum cleaner guy came out. I'm the principal here, Mr. Klutz said. Is it true you're going to pay Zach $2 million for I Love Dirt? Yes, here's the check, said the vacuum cleaner guy. He showed the check to Mr. Klutz. We all crowded around to take a look. That check had a lot of zeros in it. I guess I was wrong about you, Zach, said Mr. Klutz. Maybe you can earn a living with your music. Okay, you and Mary have my blessing to get married. Oh, Daddy. Miss Mary started hugging and kissing Mr. Klutz. Mr. Klutz started hugging and kissing Zach. Zach started hugging and kissing the vacuum cleaner guy. All that hugging and kissing was really gross. I thought, I'm going to throw up. Zach and Miss Mary decided to get married on Halloween, and Mr. Klutz said they would have the wedding right in our school playground. He even got our crossing guard, Mr. Louie, to marry them because he used to be a judge. It was a great day. All the teachers and parents were there. Even the vacuum cleaner guy was there. All of the kids, of course, came to school in their costumes. First, we had a big parade around the block. There were cowboys and pumpkins and spacemen and superheroes and witches and goblins. All the parents were taking pictures and videos. Then we had a big candy party in the playground. I stuffed my face with chocolate. After the party, Mr. Klutz told everybody to sit down on the chairs that were set up near the monkey bars. I sat with the guys. Andrea and her girly friends sat one row behind us. Mr. Louie stood in front of everybody. Zach marched halfway down the aisle next to Mr. Klutz. They were all dressed up in black tuxedos. Then our music teacher, Mr. Loring, started playing that Here Comes the Bride song on the organ. Miss Mary came down the aisle in a white gown. Yes, it was white. All the girls were oohing and ahhing at how pretty she looked. Zach took Miss Mary's hand and they walked the rest of the way down the aisle. Everyone got quiet. You could hear a pin drop. Dearly beloved, Mr. Louis said, we gather here today to join this man and this woman in blah, 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 blah. He said a bunch of lovey-dovey stuff, but I wasn't paying attention. Mr. Louis went on for like 1,100,000 minutes until he finally said, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. Zach and Mary started smooching. It was a real Kodak moment, even though kissing is disgusting. Isn't that romantic, Arlo? Andrea whispered to me. Maybe when we grow up, you and I can get married. Over my dead body, I replied. Ooh, Ryan said. AJ just agreed to marry Andrea after he's dead. They must be in love. When is your dead body going to get married? Asked Michael. After the wedding was over, Mr. Klutz got up on the stage. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce my favorite band, Fish Food. Zach and his band got up on stage. I love dirt, I love dirt, I love dirt, I love dirt. We all started chanting, I love dirt, while Zach rapped the rest of the song. He was running around and jumping up and down. It was cool. Zach handed the microphone to Mr. Klutz. He started yelling into it. I love dirt, I love dirt, I love dirt, I love dirt. Then Zach pulled the vacuum cleaner guy up on the stage and handed him the microphone. I love dirt, I love dirt, I love dirt, I love dirt. All the kids were jumping up and down. Teachers were dancing. Zach and the vacuum cleaner guy started playing bongos on Mr. Klutz's head. It was hilarious. Everyone was going nuts. And we got to see it live and in person. You should have been there. After it was all over, Fish Food and Zach and Mary got into their tour bus. It said just married on it. Somebody had tied a bunch of cans and stuff to the back of the bumper. What's up with that? Then they all waved goodbye and drove away. Mr. Klutz had tears in his eyes. Everyone else was really happy, especially Mr. Granite. That's when I realized something. I had to go to the bathroom really bad. I was going to wait until I got home, but it was an emergency. I went into the school and ran down the hall to the boys' bathroom. Is anybody in there? I asked as I pushed open the door, just to be on the safe side. I wasn't taking any chances, not after last time. Is anybody there? There was nobody in the bathroom. I went into one of the stalls. I did what I had to do, and I flushed the toilet. But that's when the weirdest thing in the history of the world happened. The toilet next to mine flushed. I figured they must be testing out the new automatic toilets again. I looked under the wall into the next stall, and you'll never believe in 1,100,000 years what I saw. It was a ghost. A ghost was sitting on the toilet. I was freaking out. Who are you? I asked. Who do I look like? The ghost said. I'm a ghost. You're a real ghost? Of course I'm a real ghost, the ghost said. I didn't know ghosts had to use the bathroom. Well, now you do, said the ghost. Do you eat kids for lunch? I asked. No. Good. We eat kids for dinner, said the ghost, and soon it will be dinner time. I ran out of there. I'm not going back ever again. I'm going to Antarctica to live with the penguins. Penguins are cool, and I don't think they have any ghosts in Antarctica, or at least they don't have any in their bathrooms. Well, that's pretty much the way it happened. Maybe the boys' bathroom in our school really is haunted. Maybe we'll get another student teacher. Maybe people will stop climbing in the windows and hiding in the cloakroom. Maybe, now that they're married, Miss Mary and Zach will stop smooching all the time. Maybe the Fish Food album will be a big success. Maybe Zach will teach us how to snorkel in a bog. Maybe people in England will stop saying bloody all the time. Maybe people will start calling sausage sausage. Maybe Superman will zap Batman with his heat vision. Maybe Andrea will make a movie about how to be annoying. Mr. Granite will buy a new vacuum cleaner. Maybe I'll get one of Zach's bobblehead statues. Maybe with Zach gone, Mr. Granite will finally be able to teach his math lesson. But it won't be easy. The end.